Good afternoon all. A very warm welcome to all the attendees of this session. It's now time to introduce Speaker of the Day, Dr. Monica Gulati, Executive Dean, School of Pharmaceutical Sciences and Registrar, Lovely Professional University. With more than 25 years of teaching, industry, research and administrative experience, having completed her B Pharmacy, M Pharmacy and PhD from UIPS, Punjab University, Chandigarh. Dr. Gulati served for 2 years in the R&D department of Panacea Biotech, shifting later on to academy. She has served for more than 18 years at LPU in various academic and administrative roles. Her research forte is enhancing bioperformance of drug molecules, phytochemicals and probiotics, metabiotics and other biotherapeutics using conventional and novel dosage forms, especially in the area of clone targeting. She holds a keen interest in the quality control parameters of delivery systems. She has more than 150 high-impact publications and 15 invited book chapters to her credit, with an H index of 28 and RG score of 39.43. She has been granted 4 Indian patents and 3 Australian patents. She is on the editorial and review board of more than 25 journals. I welcome you, ma'am. We also have with us Mr. Pankaj Ved, Head Department of Tie-ups, Division of Admission, Lovely Professional University, holds a master's degree in management with a keen area of interest being training and development. He is having over 19 years of teaching experience in multiple domains, including teaching, training, and operations. He has occupied strategic positions in multiple organizations of review. Today he is going to take up eligibility, fees, scholarship, and infrastructure part of the university. I welcome you, sir. Over to you, Dr. Gulati.
If you could please give me the rights.
Yeah, I already provided, ma'am.
Okay. Is my screen visible?
Perfectly done.
All right. So dear friends, first of all, I am thankful to the organizers for providing me this opportunity to talk to the graduate students of pharma profession, the people who have already completed their B Pharm or the people who are going to complete their B Pharm this year, about what are the recent developments that have happened in the 2 years pandemic era. So of course, before COVID started, the pharma profession was always a coveted one. Never had we heard of any kind of recession in pharma profession. But what happened during the COVID and what happened after the COVID is entirely another story. So, when the entire world was going through this traumatic period and a number of professions were losing their sheen, what was happening in case of pharma profession was that, its demand increased, its contribution towards the society increased, and of course, give me a moment. Yeah, so we were here. So the demand for the professionals, the good professionals, of course, it increased. The contribution towards the society, which was always there, also increased. It was for the first time that, the profession came into limelight when the Prime Minister, Shri Narendra Modi himself recognized the significance of the pharma profession, saying that our pharmacists have been able to, supply the entire world with the required kind of medicines and with the required kind of vaccines. So it was for the first time that the glamour got attached to the pharma profession. Till now, we had always been working in the background. The forefront was always occupied by the doctors, but the background was always supported by the pharma professionals. So this was the first time when the pharma professionals came into limelight. So today I am going to talk about various opportunities which would be available to you after you enter into your masters in the pharmacy. As such, I would like to congratulate you that you have already chosen a profession which gives you a chance to contribute towards the welfare of the society, and at the same time it helps you to rise in your own career, to earn wealth and to earn respect. It is very rare that this kind of combination is there. So in this profession, you are going to, get the best of both the worlds. You will be able to contribute, so you will feel good also. And then you will also be able to rise yourself as a human being, as a professional. And of course, you'll be able to earn good amount of money so that, you can pursue your dreams in furthering your career. So first of all, I would like to share a very, very important thing. There is generally a misnotion amongst the children who complete their bachelor's in pharmacy that if their bachelor degree is recognized by the Pharmacy Council of India, there is no need to pursue their master's from an institute which is recognized by PCI. So, my dear friends, that is completely wrong. Say about 10 years back, the M.Pharm degree was not recognized by PCI till a few years back. But now both bachelor's as well as master's degree, they need to be recognized by the Pharmacy Council of India. So here my request to all the aspirants is that they should always aspire to take admission or to enter an institute which is recognized by the Pharmacy Council of India for that particular branch. Again, a clarification here. You can see there are 5 branches mentioned here for M.Pharm. So we as an institute have to take permission from the Pharmacy Council of India. So we'll take a separate approval for M.Pharm in pharmaceutics, for M.Pharm in pharmaceutical analysis, and so on. So whenever you are going to enter into any institute, please make sure, look at the website of Pharmacy Council of India. Look at the list of the institutes which are recognized by it. There is a list which is provided at the website of PCI for undergraduate and for postgraduate courses, and that list is given state-wise. There could be it would start with the alpha. It is given alphabetically. So Andhra Pradesh and Bihar, these will be there, and then finally you'll be reaching Punjab, and then moving on to the rest of the states. So whenever you are going to take admission, whenever you make a decision, please ensure proper institute which is recognized by the Pharmacy Council of India. Otherwise, what will happen? If your master's degree is from an institute which is not recognized by the PCI, you will not be able to enter into any academic institute or any other institute wherein your M.Pharm degree is required. So for teaching B.Pharm, the faculty members must be M.Pharm, and that M.Pharm needs is recognized by PCA. So since many questions come to me in this direction, so I thought I should clarify this. So as you all know, Masters of Pharmacy is of 2 years. It is a 2 years long course. And in the second year, generally we have a research based course in which you learn a few subjects, and then you are supposed to carry out a project, a scientific project, either in the institute, or we could collaborate with some industry or some organization or some institute, right? So as you can see, we at LPU we offer Masters of Pharmacy in Pharmaceutics and Pharmaceutical Analysis and Pharmaceutical Chemistry, in Pharmacology and in pharmacy practice. So I will take up each one of these one by one, and share with you what are the scopes and what are the added advantages. So here again, my dear friends, I would like to share with you that I keep on getting this question from my own children also, who are pursuing their bachelors here, and from the other bachelors also, from the students who are either doing or they've done their bachelors from other institute. Ma'am, which one is the best? So my answer to this question is whichever excites you is the best. So all of them have very different kind of uh, material which will be taught to you. All of them have very different kind of opportunities. All of them have some overlapping areas. All of them have very large non-overlapping areas. So you see, listen to your heart. Whatever in looking at the challenging questions, looking at the challenges which are put across by these professions, that should be opted by you. Otherwise, the job opportunities in all the areas, they are the same. Only thing is you should be able to excel in it, and you will be able to excel in it only if you get excited by the course contents, by the problems which are already existing. You can resolve the industrial problems or the societal problems, and you will feel excited about it. So moving on, first we'll talk about pharmaceutical chemistry. So children, already in your bachelors for 4 years, you have been given very rigorous inputs of pharmaceutical chemistry. We start with organic chemistry, inorganic chemistry, analytical chemistry, physical chemistry, and then we move on to medicinal chemistry, right? And then we move on to pharmaceutical analysis and so on. So in M-Pharm pharma chemistry, it is basically going to be a mixture of chemistry as well as of life sciences. Now that you have learnt the anatomy, physiology, and pathology of the body, human body, you have also learned so much of chemistry. So when we combine the two, it gives rise to pharmaceutical chemistry. Right? So we should be very much aware of the basic principles of chemistry. Of course, all the three chemistries: physical, inorganic, and organic. Then natural chemistry will also creep in, or which we foresee, especially after pandemic, they might arise from the natural product. So you should be able to understand the natural product chemistry also. Then another thing which is very important is that we will hone your computer skills also, because there is something which is known as computer aided drug design, which has come up recently in last 1 decade. It used to exist earlier also, but it has suddenly flourished. Makes the entire process of synthesizing the new drugs quicker also, and more money saving also. So in M-Pharm pharmaceutical chemistry, you will deal with the principles and applications of natural and synthetic chemistry, as well as computational and analytical chemistry, and in the discovery of chemical therapeutics for prevention and cure of diseases. The program will focus on the pharmaceutical chemistry, advanced organic synthesis, which is, of course, it is one of the most important skills. So you should be able to synthesize the molecules. So advanced organic synthesis is very important. Then, as I shared with you, suddenly, during the pandemic era, the focus of the entire population shifted from synthetic chemistry to natural chemistry also, because we were depending so much upon boosting our immunity. Important. Then when you have already synthesized certain organic molecules, you will need to find out actually the synthesized molecule, is it correct or not? Whatever you wanted to synthesize has actually been synthesized or not. So you should be able to analyze the molecules also. You should be able to analyze the substances that have been prepared. So you should be able to analyze for which we are going to basically depend a lot on the spectral analysis. So you should be good in, ultraviolet NMR, all of these things you have already heard, but you must be able to analyze the spectra of all these techniques very, very brilliantly so that you are able to predict the structure of the compounds that have been synthesized also. Computer aided drug design I've already shared with you, just to ensure that no time is wasted. We also focus on, we take help from the computational aids, and we try to synthesize a molecule first in silico. In silico would mean that it is synthesized only in the software, and try to find out its topography, try to find out its structure, its 3D structure, and would it be able to fit in the receptors where we are targeting it, and so on. So computer aided drug design, and then of course the process chemistry. Process chemistry would entail everything which is regarding the processes which are involved in the synthesis of various molecules. Then we come to the various career prospects after you complete your masters in pharmacochemistry. So the most conventional kind of career option which has been existing for last more than 100 years is the as synthetic chemist. So the people, the scientists who synthesize various molecules, they would be they are known as synthetic chemists. So sorry, this is one option with you. Then as I shared with you, analytical chemist. So whatever has been synthesized, there are a few things. Is the synthesis complete? Is the drug which has been synthesized the one which we wanted to? One thing. Second thing, is it pure enough, or are there any kind of impurities in it? Because impurities could be very, very harmful also. They could be toxic also. That is another point. Third point is, are we able to analyze all this in a cost effective manner? So all these 3 points are very important, taken care of in any industry by the analytical chemist. So this would be a part of any pharmaceutical industry, one thing. Second thing, there are certain labs also which are known as the drug analysis labs or drug analytical labs, where only the analytical part is handled. So what is done is the government approves it, that particular analytical lab, and then that analytical lab is authorized to give the results for any industry. I have an industry where I'm manufacturing something, and I don't have that kind of money on me that I can start my own analytical lab also. So what I'll do is I'll send the samples for testing to any analytical lab. Then process scientists who will optimize all the processes which are involved either in the synthesis of molecules or in the analysis of molecules. Then of course, we have R&D units of industry. We have the research labs like CSIR, like DST labs, like ICMR labs, and so on. So there also, wherever synthesis or any kind of derivatization is required, or any kind of uh, the molecules which are derived from natural products, their chemistry is to be seen. So all these kind of opportunities can be explored by a research scientist. And when we talk of the bulk drug units, where the active ingredients are synthesized, when we talk of pharma industry, we quickly dichotomize or divide it into two types. One would be the bulk drug industry, and the second would be the formulation industry. So formulation industry is, as you all know, where you see the dosage forms are prepared like syrup, suspensions, tablets, capsules, and so on. While in the bulk drug units, what is prepared is the basic raw drug, which is going to be utilized by the formulation industry. So in the bulk drug units, So in the bulk drug units, what happens? The raw material is being synthesized, and this raw material is synthesized and supervised and taken care of by the people who are masters in their pharmaceutical chemistry. Then, of course, their sky is the limit. You can go for higher studies. You can go to pursue your PhDs and so on. You can go pursue your PhDs in India. You can pursue your PhDs abroad and so on. Then there are more opportunities in the government sector also, like you can be appointed as scientific officers in various analytical labs which are governed by the government. You can be appointed as scientific officers in the various offices of pharma industry. There are regulatory offices, there are production offices, and so on. And then, of course, the something that we have been hearing for last 4 years, ever since you joined your pharma profession as a new entrant in B Farm. Drug inspector is the coveted job, which has its glamour also, that you can enter into any at any point of time without any prior notice. You are the guardian for the pharma profession, so that everything works well. There is no malpractice being done either by the industrialist or by the chemists. So these are also the options which are available to you after you complete your masters. Then moving on, we talk as a specialization. Of course, I have touched it a little already, but this is purely analytical techniques. You are going to focus only on the analytical techniques in this program. So this is designed to provide exposure to various techniques and procedures which are used to analyze the drugs, right? Analyze the drugs means, again, as I was sharing with you, their quality also, their quantity also. When we talk of pharmaceutical analysis, here we are not going to talk only about the raw drugs. Here we are going to talk about the quality control of the drugs which have been put into various dosage forms also. For example, let us take the example of paracetamol. Paracetamol per se has been synthesized as a raw material. It was sent to the formulation industry where it has been converted into the form of tablets. Now, for the pharmaceutical analysis expert, it is very important that he or she is able to analyze the raw drug also. Second thing is, he or she should be able to extract the drug from the tablets which are there, and should be able to tell us whether the amount which was expected is there or not, whether it is in the same form or it has degraded or not, whether any impurities are there or not, whether it passes all the other tests or not. When it goes to the body, will it disintegrate to release the drug, or it will pass through the body as such without even releasing the drug? So all these tests are going to be conducted by somebody who is an expert in the pharmaceutical analysis. So the person should be also aware about regulatory requirements, right? One is the synthesis part, second is the analytical part. So if in US there are certain tests which are not there in India, or vice versa, the person, the analyst, also needs to be a little acquainted with the expectations of that particular regulatory body of that particular country. So the person who is going to enter into M-Pharm in pharmaceutical analysis will be taught various techniques to analyze the drugs, various tests which are to be done to ensure the quality control of the finished products, and should also be made a little aware about the regulatory expectations from various countries. Wherever you are going to supply or export or import or synthesize the formulations or the drug. Then it also, apart from the quality control, it will also focus on the quality assurance. The processes which are being followed in the industry, are they good enough to ensure that the quality will be up to the mark? So all the processes would be under the eye of the person who is working as the pharmaceutical analyst in the company. So the kind of topics which are taught apart from the quality control, analytical methodology, you will also be taught research methodology and biostatistics, because without the statistical application, say if there are batches of 2 lakhs, 5 lakhs, 10 lakhs tablets, of course you would need to have the knowledge of biostats. Regulatory affairs, as I shared with you, of all the countries where generally we are supplying our drugs to. IPR would be intellectual property right. Then process validation is very important, the processes which are being followed. One thing to prepare the dosage form, second thing to analyze. All these need to be validated whether whatever we are following is being done in the right manner or not. If it is not being done in the right manner, you may get very good results, but the process itself is faulty, so the results will also end up being faulty. So that should not be there. Then stability studies, as I shared with you, we should be able to find out whether the drug is intact or it has degraded. So whenever there is any kind of degradation of the drug, either pure drug or in the dosage form, you need to have a very good knowledge about the stability studies, how they are to be conducted, how many samples are to be taken, how the samples are to be taken. If it is a liquid sample, then at what depth we should take the sample, and so on. Then quality assurance approaches, as I shared with you, the somebody who should be having an eye or keeping an eye on the procedures which are being followed. Then bioanalytical techniques, and of course you should know about the improvements. The bioanalytical techniques would also include how you are going to separate the drug, so you should have a good knowledge about the separation techniques also, including HPLC, HPTLC, and so on. All this you have already touched in your bachelor's, but now we will be focusing more on all this. So as you can see now, I shared with you for pharmaceutical chemistry also. Here, in the career prospects, we will be mainly focusing on the analytical chemist, quality assurance manager, quality control manager. First it will be analytical chemist, then after a few years of experience, it will be quality assurance manager, then quality control manager. Their roles would somewhere overlap, but they would be different also, because this person will be focusing more on the procedures, while this person will be focusing more on the end products. Then bioanalytical scientists, when the blood samples are drawn from the patients during clinical trials, so the bioanalytical application would be required. So bioanalytical scientists will be the scientists who will separate the drug from the blood, from the plasma, from the tissues, and find out what is the concentration in the various tissues. Then of course, you can join the academic institution and become a teacher like me, or you can join a research institute also. Again, research institutes could be R&D of an industry also. It could be pure research institutes also. Then, of course, if you have a flair for regulatory affairs, then you will need to prepare the dossiers for different countries. So regulatory affair officer is also another option. And like in all other B Farm and M Farms, you can join as scientific officer and drug inspector also in the government sector. Moving on to the next option. This has been one of the very popular specializations for last many years. When I joined my masters at that time also, because this is one area wherein you need to know everything, but you are going to focus on one area which is not overlapping with any other specialization, wherein you are going to design the dosage forms. You will be designing the tablets, the capsules, the sustained release, the targeted release. Now there is a magic in this, in the sense that you will be able to maneuver, or you will be able to control the release of a drug at various sites. If you want to slow it down, you can do that. If you want to make it very quick, you can do that. If you want to release it in the mouth itself, you can do that. If you don't want to release it in the entire gut, but the end of the gut, that is colon, you can do that. So this area of specialization basically deals with the preparation of dosage forms. You are whether you want to prepare it in the form of an inhaler so that it goes only to the lungs, or an injectable, and then what to do if you want to reduce the pain on injection, and so on. So all this will be taught to you under the Masters of Pharmacy in Pharmaceutics. So the career prospects are somewhat similar and somewhat different. So in the production units, as manufacturing chemist, you can start your career like that. The pharma industry, wherever manufacturing of dosage forms is there, they require a large number of people with pharmaceutics as specializations. Then knowledge processing organizations, they need people from pharmaceutics area. Then GMP, good manufacturing practices, this is taught as one full subject to the pharmaceutics people. So you will, since it is related to manufacturing, good manufacturing practices. So again, the people of pharmaceutic specialization are required there. Then research and academic institutes, this is the same. Formulation development, the research of formulation development, the production of formulation development, the sales and marketing of formulation development, all aspects of formulation development will be handled by the pharmaceutics people. This remains the same. We have already discussed about it. Then we come to Masters of Pharmacy in Pharmacology. Now, pharmacology is something which has been fascinating the people for a long time, because herein you study basically what happens to the body when a drug enters into it. So you see, it gives you exposure of the effects of the drugs on the body, either of animals or of human beings. So when we talk of the effect of drug in animals, which is mandatory to be tested before we go for any kind of clinical trials in human beings, we call it preclinical testing. And it is generally done on various animals like, rats and rabbits and mice and so on. And you can see it. So that gives the excitement, because you can see the effects of the drugs that have been prepared by you or that have been prepared by somebody else. So in this, what we generally teach is, the effects. How does the drug affect the body? The various mechanisms of action. You have already been, studying pharmacology from your third year onwards. So it teaches you about the various effects. How does the effect occur at macro level also and at micro level? Micro level means at the cellular level, and at the molecular level, what are the changes that a drug brings about, so that it can exert that effect. And then it also talks about the various side effects or toxicity. So toxicological screening is also an important part of it. Then pharmacovigilance is another area which is very upcoming kind of area. In pharmacovigilance, what is done is we check if there are any kind of expected or unexpected side effects of the drug at the normal dose, and then we attribute, if it is rare or if it is common, we attribute it to the various reasons. Why does this happen in this kind of population, and why doesn't it happen in the rest of the population? Then of course, when you are withdrawing the blood from the samples of animals or human beings, we need to check the drug. So some part of analytical techniques are also taught. And then of course, very, very important is the biostats, because when we are going to apply preclinical or clinical trials, we are going to deal with a set of animals or human beings. So how to, plan your experiments, how to interpret the data which has been obtained from those experiments, that will require a good knowledge of biostats. And like I said, in their third and fourth semester, that means in their second year, you are going to complete a project in which you are going to, mandatorily handle the animals. So the career prospects is, as I shared with you, in the research and development of preclinical trials as well as clinical trials. Pharmacovigilance, this we've already discussed. teaching positions in educational institutes. Again, you can become a teacher like me. This has recently gained a lot of significance because Indian scientists were very well equipped, and they almost did a magic when they developed the vaccine for COVID in a record time. And we as a country were able to roll out the vaccination for COVID in a very short time, and then we could supply to the various countries across the world also. So that also has now got been in limelight. So all this will also be available to you as a job opportunity. Then IPR is available to all the pharmacy graduates and postgraduates. Now, since the people who complete their masters in pharmacology are generally very good at interpreting and then writing the results of preclinical and clinical trials, so they generally get a preference. Of course, it will depend upon the individual writing skills also, whenever we are talking of the medical writing industry, because they have a good flair of interpreting the clinical and preclinical data also. Then you can go ahead and complete your PhDs either in India or abroad. And then you have an option to start your CRO. CRO means contract research organization. You can open a preclinical lab also, or you can take a franchisee of a CRO which is already existing. And then you can start your own consultancy also. Scientific officer and drug inspector as government sector opportunities remains the same. One thing I would like to highlight here is that we at Lovely Professional University, we have a very well equipped animal house which is approved by the CPCSA. Any animal house which is possessed by any academic institute needs to be approved by CPCSA, right? And again, I would request you, if you select any organization or any educational institute for pursuing your masters, please ensure that they have an approved animal house, which is very, very important. Then we talk of a profession or a closest to the profession of medicine. Many of us come into pharmacy when we do not get admission in MBBS. I've heard many students, of course, there are many like me who choose pharmacy over and above all other professions, but there are many of us, many of the children who always had pharmacy as a second option because their first option was MBBS. So this pharmacy practice is the profession which is closest to medicine or MBBS, because herein you will be dealing with the patients. So herein you will be given the knowledge of uh, practicing pharmacy, how to handle the patients, how to provide patient care, how to counsel the patients. Because you see, when we talk of the medical profession, they are not so well versed with the pharmacological aspects. They are more well versed with the medicine aspects, but they are less well versed with the pharmacological aspects. So clinical pharmacy and community pharmacy, including hospital pharmacy, would be taught to you so that you are able to counsel the patients in much more detail. When to take the drug, how to take the drug, whatever could be the side effects of the drug, how to ensure, what to eat, when to eat, uh, so that you get the minimal side effects. So all this counseling or patient care is handled by the pharmacy practice specialists. So as you can see, drug interaction. So the pharmacy practice specialist will tell the patients not to take these two drugs together, have an interval of at least 1 hour or 2 hours, or take one in the morning, one in the evening, and then drug food interaction. And then dear friends, one very, very important aspect is pharmacoeconomic evaluation. We have probably 20 anti-cancer drugs, but how do we differentiate a patient who cannot afford a very costly drug but is ready to bear the consequences of that, the side effects of that, would go for a drug which is relatively cheaper. And then we have drugs which are very, very costly, but they would give very less amount of side effects. So that entire thing comes under the pharmacoeconomic evaluation, wherein we basically talk about the value for money of the drugs. It is a science in itself. And then, the rational use of medicines, so that there is no toxicity, there is no overloading of the drugs, and so on, so that the best pharmacological or therapeutic effect is there with the minimum undesirable effects. So when we talk of the professional opportunities, work in the hospitals, or providing the information to the people who are working in the hospitals, which will include doctors and nursing staff also. So pharmaceutical care management is the most important. Working as counselors, or they'll be working as a bridge between the doctor and the patient. So they will be, as I shared with you, for pharmacology also, their knowledge of biostats is very, very good. So they are generally preferred in medical and scientific writing. They can join the academics and research institute. Pharmacovigilance, I have already explained. So hospital pharmacists, now it has become mandatory as made by the government of India. There will be soon an implementation of this, that for every hospital there would be requirement of a clinical pharmacist. So the hospital and the clinical pharmacist opportunities are already existing, and they are going to rise in future. Then clinical trials. So all the clinical trials which are done by the Indian companies or the international companies that outsource the clinical trials to India, there also it is a mandate to have the pharmacy practice people. And then medical transcription is available to almost all the professions, wherein you will jot down whatever the doctor says through online connect also. So a doctor is sitting in US and you are working here, you will be able to understand everything he or she is saying, and you will translate it, you will transcript it, and then send it back to the patient who is sitting overseas also. So then another thing that we have, sorry, I forgot to tell you that for M.Pharm pharmacy practice we have an MOU. We have a collaboration with the Christian Medical College Ludhiana, where our children go and they undergo the training there under the supervision of the doctors of CMC Ludhiana. Then we have masters in Ayurveda also, Ayurvedic pharmacy also, which has in Ayurvedic pharmacy, the Pharmacy Council of India is not applicable. So for this, we are governed by and we are approved by the Board of Ayurvedic and Unani System of Medicine, Punjab. So here we offer Masters of Pharmacy in Ayurveda. The profile remains the same. They are taught a part of formulation development. They are taught a part of extraction. They are taught a part of analysis. They are taught a part of pharmacology for all the drugs which are of Ayurvedic origin, which are of either from plant sources or from earth sources, the natural drugs. And the career opportunities are also overlapping. They can go for production of Ayurvedic drugs, research and development of Ayurvedic drugs. Regulatory affairs here becomes very, very strong, because it is more difficult to export the Ayurvedic medicines to various countries. So their regulatory affairs become a little more stringent. Then KPOs are there, knowledge processing organizations, medical writing, insurance. Insurance is another opportunity available to most of us, because insurance people, whenever they issue any kind of insurance, they find out whether the condition, the medical condition of the person who is getting insured is good. So he or she should have a good knowledge of anatomy, physiology, and pathology. So insurance sector is another area wherein doors are open for all kinds of pharmacy professionals. These remain the same. In this case, it would be the drug inspectors for the Ayush system of medicine. So that is all from my side. I'll be happy to answer any queries if there are any.
Thank you so much, ma'am. This was really wonderful and very informative. Thank you so much. You're talking about School of Pharmaceutical Sciences courses we offered, career prospects, academic highlights, and many more. On the quick notes, we are taking up 2-3 queries from your side. Um, I can see Deep Shikhar Vaishnav. I'm giving you the necessary rights. Please unmute yourself. Vaishnav, please unmute yourself and ask your query.
Hello.
Yes.
Hello. Good afternoon, ma'am. So basically, I'm just asked which branch is best for M-Pharm and what is the scope of that?
Ma'am, you are, please unmute
Yeah,
yourself.
I have unmuted myself. I think I already answered this question right at the beginning of the session. There also I shared that many children ask me this question, which is the best one. So for this, I would like to say that follow your heart. All the specializations are equally good. You know, any specialization which excites you, you should go for that, because something that excites you, you are going to do well. And you know, in your generation, there is sky is the limit for opportunities if you are doing well. So if chemistry is you feel good in chemistry, you are very good at chemistry, you like the problems which are there in chemistry, go for pharmaceutical chemistry. If you like the design of dosage forms, go for never follow the trend which is offered by your friends or your seniors. I always say this: go sit in a room alone, put on the latch on the door, and look inside you. Whatever excites you the best, whatever excites you the maximum, go for that branch. I think I answered your question.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. The next question is from Dipali. Will the opportunities for MLT remains high in post-COVID scenario?
They will not remain high, they will go higher and higher. Because you see, we are now hearing the news that one thing is that COVID is coming back. God forbid, but some infection, of course, you know, we are all people with scientific bent of mind. We know that, you know, once an infection has happened, pandemic is there, and since it is a viral pandemic, it is going to stay. Maybe not so morbid, but it is going to stay. So, you know, the requirement for medicines is going to rise more and more. Second thing is people are now looking for more better immunity. So again, the requirement for functional foods and supportive kind of therapies is also going to rise. And then, you know, we've also heard that the people who have survived COVID, they are also having or respiratory issues. So, of course, you know, we are becoming more health conscious. The opportunities are going to be rising multiple times. I think that satisfies you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Ma'am, the next question is from Meera side. Which are the specialization available after BSc MLT? Should student join the master degree?
Again, I would say if you're talking of BSc MLT, it depends upon you whether you want to enter into general kind of thing and work in all the areas, you know, biochemistry, microbiology, hematology, pathology, and so on. Or you are more interested in a particular area, you are more excited about a particular area. If you feel that you have a flair for, doing the microbiological tests, uh, with interest, you can go for MSc in clinical microbiology. If you feel, you know, you are more interested in genetics, you can go for MSc in clinical embryology. If biochemistry excites you more, you can go for MSc in clinical biochemistry, and so on.
Thank you so much, ma'am. The last question, how can we pitch our Indian products in overseas marketing? Gurpreet wants to know.
All right, very good question. The most important thing here is the quality control and quality assurance. See, if the quality of the Indian product is good, of course, it will be able to withstand any kind of questions which are put by the regulatory authorities of those countries. Second thing is, whatever data is generated, that data should be perfect. Because whenever you are preparing a dossier to sell or to export the any kind of dosage forms, any kind of drugs there, you should be able to convince, the data should be convincing and the data should be complete. Many a times we do the thing, but we don't look at the data. So these are two very important things, the quality and the data management, both the things should be perfect.
Wonderful, ma'am. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the time and your efforts. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Next, we move on to Mr. Pankaj Vij. Over to you, sir.
Right. Thank you. Suman ma'am, I suppose my screen is visible to you and to all.
Yes, sir. Go on.
Great. So a quick presentation regarding what a student can expect when he or she comes to the university, and then I'll tell you about the eligibility criteria and the fee and the scholarship and so on and so forth. So let's start with the students. We have had a great session from Dr. Monica Gulati, and she's been there for quite some time in the university, and she has guided numerous number of students for pharmaceutical sciences and related subjects. It's always great to hear from her side. Moving on, what you can expect when you come to the university. In the previous 2 years, have been destroyed because of pandemic, but things are looking up better now, and the universities and colleges are opening up. So when you come to the university, what you can expect. Allow me to start with on a very positive note that 2021 was the year of Tokyo Olympics, which actually had to happen in 2020, but it happened in 2021. And it'll be a great news for you, all of you, to listen to that. Quite a few of our students made it to the Olympics and won laurels for the country, for the state, for the university. We talk about the likes of Neeraj Chopra, Bajrang Punia, the 7 members of the Indian hockey squad, led by none other than Manpreet Singh, who is our student. So all these students, these brave hearts, are students. So LPU is not only known for its legacy of creating academicians or researchers, but it is also now known for creating world-class sports people. On that particular note, allow me to go ahead. What you can expect when you come to the campus. This is what you can expect when you come to the campus. Well, the year was 2019, and LPU organized or hosted the 106th edition of the Indian Science Congress, which was inaugurated by none other than the Honorable Prime Minister of India, Shri Narendra Modi ji. So he came to the campus in 2019. We have had His Holiness, the Dalai Lama, who was here in one of the convocation ceremonies, giving away degrees to the students. Then we had 2 former presidents of India and Afghanistan sharing the same stage, once again giving away degrees in a convocation ceremony. Late Shri Arun Jaitley ji, the Finance Minister of India, former Finance Minister of India, was in the campus. He inaugurated the startup school a few years ago. In 2018, Venkaiah Naidu ji was here, the Vice President of India, giving away degrees in yet another convocation ceremony. So these are the kind of intellects, the political intellects who come to the university and they interact with the students. It's a moment to cherish for all the students who meet them. We also have had spiritual people like Gauhar Gopal Das coming to the university, giving away live sermons to the students, to the faculty members, to the parents, and so on. We also have the Bollywood stars coming to the university, not only to sing and dance, but also to interact with the students, since these people are the real heroes or the real life heroes of our young generation, and they follow these people. So we call them to the campus for a brief interaction, for a real-time interaction with the students. Moving on, infrastructure is an important part of any organization or an institution where students study. What you're seeing on the screen right now is a marvel of building, 14 blocks joined together back to back. It houses the central library of the university, apart from some other departments. We have an auditorium. It has a capacity of 2,500 people in a single go. What you're seeing right now is a glimpse of a laboratory that we have. This is a computer lab. Similar labs are there in vast numbers across the university. Libraries. We have a central library, and each department has its own library, but the libraries are all automated. Well, at the center of the campus, it's a 600-acre campus that we have. At the center, at the heart of the campus, we have got a mall. Within the heart of the campus, we have got this mall. Let me take you inside the mall. This is a sneak peek inside the mall. It's got Providence stores. It's got shops where the students can buy their stuff. It houses a gymnasium, a fully equipped gymnasium with international trainers of repute. It's got some recreational facilities like bowling alleys and so on. God forbid any student falls ill, but somebody falls ill, then we are ready with a university hospital, and it's called the Uni Hospital. It's got medical doctors, resident medical doctors, staff, 25-bed hospital. So we are ready for any basic eventuality when it comes to health. Moving forward, these are some of the glimpses of the university. We are a very clean and a very green university, owing to which in 2018 we were awarded as the top cleanest campuses in India. We are ranked 8th in that particular list. So we are the 8th most cleanest campus in India. This has been ranked. This ranking has been given to us by the Ministry of Human Resource Development, Union Government of India. So that's a vision of the university at night. If you're a sporting freak, LPU is the right place to be. We have got an Olympic-size all-weather swimming pool. You name a court, you get it. We even have a shooting range. We've got basketball courts, we've got badminton courts, and so on. We even have a squash court in this sporting facility that you're seeing right now. This is an aerial view of our indoor sporting complex at LPU. A residential facility. We house more than, in the better times, we had more than 20,000 students and faculty members staying within the campus. It's a very secure campus. Boys and girls hostels are absolutely separate out, but within the same campus, which is of 600 acres. These are some of the other amenities that we provide that are there within the university campus. We've got banks, we've got ATMs. It's a complete Wi-Fi campus. We even have a post office, and so on. So these are some of the amenities that you can expect when you come to the university. Students, let me take you to the website from where you can find the eligibility criteria and so on. So all you need to do is log on to lpu.in. As soon as you log on to lpu.in, you'll find a link over here saying admission. So we were talking about, Monica members talking about the master's program in pharmacy. So let's take master's in pharmacy as a benchmark. So if I have to find the eligibility of a master's in pharmacy program, then I go to admissions. This is after graduation, post-graduation programs. I go to the regular programs. I click it over here. It takes me to the next page, wherein there would be multiple disciplines, out of which I can select the discipline of my choice, which happens to be pharmaceutical science. I click it over here, and these are the branches of pharmaceutical science, M Pharmacy, that we are offering. Let's say M Pharmacy Pharmaceutics. It's a very prominent branch. So I go to M Pharmacy Pharmaceutics, and I'm taken into the M Pharmacy Pharmaceutics domain. First of all, you'll find the eligibility criteria. This is the eligibility criteria. Just have to scroll a little bit. The eligibility criteria says pass with 60% marks in aggregate in B Pharmacy, approved by PCI, Pharmacy Council of India College, or equivalent, subject to qualifying LPU Nest or GPAT. So you either have to qualify LPU Nest, or you have to qualify the national level test, which is GPAT, before taking admission to the M Pharmacy program. So that's a prerequisite. So this is the eligibility. Similarly, if you want to find the fee, you just go to the slider on top, you click the fee, and the page takes you automatically to the fee structure. The fee of the program is 1,20,000 per term. That's the basic fee, but there are a number of scholarships that we are offering. For example, somebody's got 80 to 89.99% of marks in 12th, or 70 to 79.99 in graduation. or students is amongst the category 3, that is the cutoff 3 of our LP Nest exam, it's a 20% scholarship. The fee goes on to 96,000. Similarly, somebody having 90 to 94.99 in 12th or 80 to 89.99 in graduation, or is amongst the cutoff 2, 30% scholarship. Similarly, anybody having more than 95% marks in 12th or having more than 90% marks in graduation, that's B Pharmacy, or is amongst the category 1 of our LP Nest exam, it's a 40% scholarship. Fee goes down to 70,000 per semester. It's worth mentioning, my dear students, over here that whatever scholarship once administered, these scholarships I'm talking about, once these scholarships are administered to a student, they shall remain the same way. They will never change throughout the course of the program. You want to know about some other scholarships that we are offering, you just click over here to the next button, which is scholarships. It takes you to the other scholarships that are being offered. This is scholarship on the previous qualifications. This is LP Nest. Then scholarship on the basis of GPAT as well. So somebody is GPAT qualified, having this kind of a rank, once again 20%, this kind of a rank 30%, rank between 1 to 1000 40%. So it remains the same way, 20, 30, 40. So on the basis of GPAT also, you got scholarships that are being offered. So these are some of the scholarships that we are offering on the basis of national level test. So these scholarships are administered to the student on the basis of performance. And lastly, some financial aids like people who are from the defense background. If any student's father or mother is with a defense, like the Indian Army, Indian Air Force, or the Navy, then the scholarships are there for students as well. Such students as well. These are called as the financial aid. So whole lot of scholarships on the grab, and you can join the program based on your performance. You can get scholarships which will remain same way throughout the course of the program. Students, if you want to contact us, you want to call us, you want to visit us, you're most welcome to call us on 01824 517 000, or you can write to us on admissions@lpu.co.in, or you can always visit us, as I showed you, on www.lpu.in. So you can take a snapshot of this particular slide and you can contact us the way you want to do. I think that's all from my side. Suman ma'am, back to you.
Thank you so much, sir. It's really very informative. Thank you. On a quick note, I'm taking one query from you, sir. The student wants to know how LPU supports and guides a student to get a better placement.
Placements are concerned, Monica ma'am also informed this particular thing. Placements, our job is to train the student. Our job is to make the student up to the mark. So that there will be no lacuna in that particular thing. Your training, your education, your teaching, everything would be done impeccably. On top of that, you would be attending classes which are known as the PEP classes, Professional Enhancement Program, which is not a program only to improve your communication skills or body language or things like that. That's a part of it. Well, apart from this, you'll be also taught analytical skills and some other things which is a prerequisite for placements. So we make you placement ready, and then we put you forth the companies which come to the campus, so you can appear for the interview over there. So there would be no dearth of companies. When it comes to companies, there would be no dearth of companies for which you can appear the interviews. There would be no dearth of training. There would be no dearth of academics from our side, but eventually it is you who would be finally facing the interview panel, and if you're prepared, rest assured the placement will follow.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for the time. So during this exclusive webinar on post-graduation in pharmaceutical sciences, attendees heard from Dr. Gulati as on how you can have a successful career in this field. Experts, your years of research, your depth of understanding the topic, and your ability to present the topic in such an interesting way produced one of the most wonderful afternoon for all the attendees. On behalf of all the attendees of this webinar, I want to thank you for your insightful presentations. Hopefully, the attendees found this webinar to be valuable, as the information provided in this webinar will help them to take better decisions regarding career. I'm obliged and once again thankful to Dr. Gulati and Mr. Pankaj Vij for strengthening this platform. Signing off for the day. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.